Having now believed that Jesus was indeed the Messiah, I was convinced that every miracle he performed had a deeper meaning to it. There was especially one miracle that opened my eyes to an even better understanding of Jesus. And I believe that the miracle succeeded in making some of my fellow Pharisees to think if there was more to this man Jesus than they could possibly understand. The miracle happened one day as Jesus walked along with his disciples and saw a man born blind. And his disciples asked him, "Rabbi, between this man and his parents, whose sin caused this man to be born blind?" Jesus replied, "Neither this man nor his parents sinned. He was actually born blind so that the works of God might be displayed in him. As long as it is day, we must do the works of him who sent me. Night is coming, when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world." After saying this, he spit on the ground, made some mud with his saliva, and put it on the man's eyes. Then he told him, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam." Siloam means sent. And the man went and washed and came home seeing. His neighbors and those who had formerly seen him begging asked, "Isn't this the same man who used to sit and beg?" Some claimed he was. Others said, "No, he only looks like him." But he himself insisted, "I am the man." "Huh? How then were your eyes opened?" they asked. He replied, "The man they called Jesus made some mud and put it on my eyes. He told me to go to Siloam and wash. So I went and washed, and then I could see." "Where is this man?" they asked him. "I don't know," he said. The neighbors decided to bring the man who had been blind to us Pharisees for some advice. And unfortunately, it happened that the day on which Jesus had made the mud and opened the man's eyes was a Sabbath. The Pharisees, having refused to learn the new understanding of the Sabbath as taught by Jesus, asked the man to tell them how he had received his sight in order to find a way to persecute Jesus. The man replied, "He put mud on my eyes and I washed, and now I see." All of us were totally surprised because no one had ever made a man born blind to see again. Some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from God, for he does not keep the Sabbath." But others asked, "How can a sinner perform such signs?" So, among the Pharisees, we were divided. Then they turned again to the blind man. "What have you to say about him? It was your eyes he opened." The man replied, "He is a prophet." And there was silence among us, because no one knew what to say. Then one of us suggested that the man brought to us was an impostor, pretending to have been healed by Jesus in order to deceive people to believe in him. So we ordered that his parents appear before us for questioning immediately. When the parents arrived, they were asked, "Is this your son? Is this the one you say was born blind? How is it that now he can see?" The parents answered, "We know he is our son, and we know he was born blind. But how he can see now, or who opened his eyes, we don't know. Ask him. He is of age. He will speak for himself." And I knew the parents had answered the question that way because they were afraid of the Jewish leaders, who already had decided that anyone who acknowledged that Jesus was the Messiah would be put out of the synagogue. The parents therefore answered, "He is of age, ask him," to avoid getting into trouble. My fellow Pharisees and members of the Sanhedrin called the man who had been blind once more and told him, "You give glory to God and tell the truth. Were you really healed by Jesus? For we know that this man Jesus is a sinner and cannot heal." The man replied, "Whether Jesus is a sinner or not, I don't know. One thing I do know, I was blind, but now I see." And for the third time, they asked him again, "Exactly what did Jesus do to you? How did he open your eyes?" This really annoyed the man, and he firmly answered, "I have told you already, and you did not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Or do you want to become his disciples too?" The man was on fire, and he was not holding anything back. Let us pause there for now and pick it up tomorrow, and we will see how it all went down.